For years, fans of Counting Cars believed they knew everything about Danny Koker's legendary garage. But behind the shine of restorations and the success of the show, there were darker stories, betrayals, personal conflicts, and employees who almost brought the entire empire crashing down. For the first time, Danny breaks his silence and exposes the 5 worst employees in the history of Counting Cars. People who turned his dream into a nightmare and jeopardized the empire he spent decades building. Some were close friends, others became TV personalities within the shop, but all of them left marks that shook the trust and balance of the team. What you're about to hear will completely change the way you see Counting Cars. Before we dive in, if you love real stories, behind-the-scenes secrets, and want to know what really happens when the cameras stop rolling, make sure to hit subscribe and drop a like. That tells YouTube our stories are worth sharing and helps more people discover this channel. And of course, let me know in the comments which revelation shocked you the most. Your opinion keeps this channel alive and growing. From a young age, Danny Koker didn't just love cars, he felt them. He grew up surrounded by the sound of engines and the rhythm of rock guitars. His father, Daniel Koker Sr., was both a musician and a lover of classic cars. It was from him that Danny learned to see mechanics not just as a craft, but as an art. While other kids dreamed of driving, Danny wanted to build, to take apart, and to understand what made the machine's heart beat. As a teenager, he spent countless nights in improvised garages, working on whatever wreck he could get his hands on. The smell of oil, the touch of cold metal, and the sound of turning engines became part of his identity. The mix of steel, gasoline, and attitude shaped his unique personality. Part mechanic, part rock star. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, Las Vegas had become the perfect stage for his passion. The city buzzed with neon, music, and horsepower, a perfect match for Danny's restless energy. He founded Count's Customs, a small shop focused on restoring and customizing cars and motorcycles. In the beginning, it was just him, a few tools, and a dream. He bought beat-up cars at auctions and turned what others called junk into shining works of art. His reputation grew fast. Musicians, collectors, and car enthusiasts started seeking him out. Word spread quickly, and before long, the shop was thriving. What began as a hobby had turned into a profession, and soon, an empire. Then came 2012. The History Channel launched Counting Cars, a spin-off from Pawn Stars, and Danny's life changed forever. The show took off immediately, captivating audiences with its authenticity, creativity, and rock and roll energy. Danny wasn't just fixing cars, he was living a lifestyle, one that viewers found irresistible. But fame came with a price. Running a real business while filming a hit TV show brought enormous pressure. The once laid-back shop became a high-stress environment filled with deadlines, egos, and creative differences. And it was in this storm that Danny met his biggest challenges, the employees who would go down as the worst in the history of Counting Cars. The first name on that list is Rolly Sabo, the detailing and paint master. Rolly was creative, charismatic, and extremely talented, but also fiercely independent. He liked doing things his own way, often ignoring instructions. Danny, known for his perfectionism and discipline, quickly grew frustrated with delays and improvisation. Arguments became common, and one day, Rolly simply vanished from the show. Fans speculated about fights, firings, and even sabotage. Danny never confirmed anything, but once hinted, not everyone is willing to row in the same direction. Next is Scott Jones, the shop manager during the early seasons. Brilliant and methodical, Scott was a perfectionist, but also demanding and hard to please. He criticized freely and rarely accepted opposing views. Tension between him and Danny grew so strong that it began to affect the entire team. Despite his efficiency, the atmosphere became unbearable. Scott's exit was abrupt and surrounded by rumors, creative differences, heated arguments, and perhaps even power struggles. Then there's Kevin Mack, one of the most complicated stories because he wasn't just an employee. He was Danny's close friend. Kevin helped shape the administrative side of Count's Customs, keeping the business running while Danny focused on creativity. But over time, financial disagreements began to arise. Kevin made bold purchasing decisions, sometimes buying expensive vehicles that Danny thought were too risky. Danny valued caution. Kevin wanted big swings. The tension built until Kevin left the show to pursue other ventures. The friendship survived, but it was tested to its limits. The fourth name is Shannon Ikaw, head of assembly and customization. Shannon is one of the most gifted craftsmen to ever work at Counts Customs, but also one of the most stubborn. He had a strong artistic vision and often clashed with Danny or clients who wanted something different. Their creative tension almost pushed him off the show at times, but mutual respect always brought him back. Shannon represents the duality of genius, sometimes difficult, but always valuable. And finally, the most controversial of them all, Joseph "Horny Mike" Zajac. Known for his wild personality and horned helmets, Mike became one of the show's most recognizable faces. He was hilarious, inventive, and responsible for some of Counting Cars' most unforgettable designs. But his offbeat sense of humor, tardiness, and disorganization caused constant friction. Danny once joked, "Mike is the best and worst employee I've ever had, sometimes both in the same day." These 5 names reveal the human, imperfect side of success. Danny learned that leading a team is a lot like restoring a car. It takes patience, vision, and the ability to make mismatched parts work together. Every mistake, every argument, taught him something about leadership, loyalty, and resilience. As Counting Cars grew, Danny evolved from being just a mechanic into a cultural icon. Counts Customs became more than a shop. It turned into a tourist destination, attracting fans from around the world. He launched his own clothing line, opened the rock bar Counts Vamped, and kept his band Counts 77 alive, carrying his love for music from the garage to the stage. But not everything was smooth. There were tough times when ratings dipped, and the business faced financial challenges. Danny had to make hard decisions, cutting costs, restructuring his team, and fighting to keep his brand intact. In interviews, he has admitted that success can be as dangerous as failure. When the cameras are on, everyone wants to shine. The problem is what happens when they turn off, he once confessed. Off camera, Danny is surprisingly private. Despite his tough, rock star exterior, he's deeply family-oriented and spiritual. He avoids drama, preferring to focus on his work and the people who truly matter. Fame was never the goal, he often says. "I just wanted to build cars. Everything else came naturally." Today, Counts Customs stands as a symbol of authenticity. Every vehicle that leaves the shop carries a piece of Danny's soul, and in some way, a trace of those who've been part of the journey, good or bad. He's learned that real success doesn't come from avoiding mistakes, but from learning through them. Even the worst employees had their role. They taught him boundaries, revealed weaknesses, and showed him the power of forgiveness. Danny still runs the shop with the same passion as ever, bandana on his head, sunglasses on, and that calm smile that says, "The work speaks for itself." The engines still roar, the guitars still play, and the Counting Cars legacy continues to inspire millions around the world. His story is one of perseverance, vision, and authenticity. The boy who once took apart bicycles in his backyard grew up to lead a legendary workshop and become the face of one of the most iconic shows in automotive television. He proved that when you mix passion, talent, and purpose, even the simplest hobby can become an empire. And so, the story of Counting Cars reminds us that behind every shiny paint job and roaring engine, there's something deeper: passion, mistakes, growth, and humanity. Every employee left a mark, and every obstacle helped shape Danny Koker into the man he is today. Now it's your turn. What did you think of this story? Which of these moments surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. I love reading what you have to say. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you don't miss our next stories. And before you go, don't close the video yet. There's another one right there on your screen that's even more fascinating and emotional than this one. Click it and keep riding with me through these incredible journeys. See you there. Fire waving hand.